over 60 heads of state made their way to Chicago for the 25th annual Nato summit. They arrived on planes, drove through the city in high-security motorcades, and even ran along Lake Michigan. Their presence sparked protests all over the city and made the always busy loop look like a ghost town. Where the usual business people and workers walked, now only stood police. But despite all of that, there was business to be done. NATO, which stands for North Atlantic Treaty Organization, is made up of 28 member countries from Europe and North America and works to safeguard the freedom and security of its member countries through political and military means. The organization's three main tasks include collective defense, crisis management, and cooperative security through partnerships. At this summit, which was the organization's largest ever, the focus was on the future of Afghanistan and a long-term missile defense program for NATO, as well as building partnerships. The summit was held on Sunday and Monday at McCormick Place and began with a short statement from NATO Secretary General Anders Fogh Rasmussen.
And leaders from around the world are coming here today.
An official greeting from him and President Obama came a few hours later. The first official meeting of the summit began with a ceremony honoring NATO military personnel and ended with a NATO missile defense system. While the first day emphasized greetings, working dinners, and issues within the alliance, the second was all about one of the biggest concerns discussed at this summit, NATO's relationship with Afghanistan. Before the summit began, NATO knew its security force would pull out of Afghanistan by 2014, but they did not have an exact timetable. By end of meetings Monday, NATO's future in Afghanistan was much more clear. By the middle of 2013, Afghan forces will take the lead for combat operations. At that time, the International Security Assistance Force, or ISAF, which is NATO's security force, will have shifted from combat to support role in all parts of the country. By 2014, Afghans will take full responsibility for their country's security, and NATO troops will head home. Speaking to the media Monday, President Obama touched on NATO's relationship with Afghanistan after 2014.
NATO will continue to train, advise, and assist and support Afghan forces as they grow stronger.
While the end of 2014 is soon enough for most NATO countries to leave Afghanistan, it wasn't soon enough for one of them. France's newly elected President François Hollande stuck to his campaign pledge and will withdraw French troops by the end of this year. One of the most talked about issues of the summit wasn't even on the agenda. Many wanted to know where the relationship between the United States and Pakistan stood. President Obama refused to meet with Pakistan President Zardari during the summit. The reason? Pakistan has closed NATO supply routes to Afghanistan in protest over drone attacks and a U.S. airstrike in November that killed 24 Pakistani troops. Zardari has demanded an apology from the U.S. and even asked Secretary of State Hillary Clinton to stop all drone strikes.
Ultimately, it is in our interest to see a successful, stable Pakistan, and it is in Pakistan's interest to work with us.
President Obama made a point to thank both Mayor Rahm Emanuel and Chicago's residents, saying he could not be more proud to welcome people from around the world to his hometown. Reporting for Good Day DePaul, I'm Brittany Lewis.